Welcome back to Qtronics, where I have all the gear and no idea. And yes, today we're going to be looking at part 2 of the Game Boy Color. Now, as you're aware, last time I was able to fix the game cartridge so it now plays games, but there's no sound, and that's because there's no port. Well, I scoured the internet looking for a port, and I could not find one. I reached out to a few people who used to supply them, like people on Z Labs, and they basically informed me that their supplier is no longer making them, or is no longer available. So the only way to currently get an audio port is to rip one off another GBC. I don't want to do that because I'm basically breaking a GBC to fix one. So I did some more research, and there's a few pins you can solder together to make the audio work. So that's what we're going to do today. Also, while I was looking at the board, I also noticed I think some of the pads are missing, which is why we're getting no audio. So we'll fix the pads, and we'll also bridge the pins so then we can get some audio coming out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. If not, I'm probably not going to spend too much more time on this, purely because I don't have an audio port and I'd have to go and break another Game Boy just to fix this one. So if not, we'll leave it as it is and I'll keep it for spares. Right, let's get the microscope out and have a quick look. Right then, so we're under the scope, so I'll show you what I mean. So here you can see contact point 1 and contact point 2, I believe this is. And you can see the nice big piece of copper around it, and you can see where the trace leads on. Now these ones are used for audio out when you plug a 3.5mm jack in. Right, so if we come up, then we also have that was point 4. So we have point 2, point 3, and point 5. Now, I believe the only points we need for getting the speakers to work are point 4 and 5. Now, if you're as eagle-eyed as I am, you can see there that point 5 has no copper at all. So this little trace here has no connectivity. If we come back down to port 4, we're fine. We've got connectivity here. I will double check this in a minute to make sure. So what we need to do is bridge point 4 and point 5, and that should give us the connection. First things first, I'm going to scratch off some of this solder mask here so we can get a new 0.5 going. My grinding kit. Grinding kit! Where the hell is that? Right guys, I'm back with the trusty grinding pen. So let's go. Right, I'm happy with that. Time to get the soldering iron out. Oh, I'd need to plug the soldering iron in first though. So bit of flux, and let's get this pad, let's get both of these pads tinned. Right, extract fan going on. Hopefully it won't be too noisy. A little bit better, perfect. So let's see if we can get this pad tinned. There we go, nice little bit of solder. And let's just put a bit of solder on point 4 as well, down here. This one's going to need a little bit more solder. It's a big old pad. There we go, that should be enough. So I'm going to get a piece of enamelled wire now, and we'll solder into point 4 first, and then move over to point 5. Right, I'm going to get the extractor knife out just to scrape the end of that off. It should have melted, but it didn't. Let's try if that's solder to harden. Lovely. And then we're going to move over to point 5 there and try and get this soldered on. This is 0.3 wire, so it's a little bit thicker than you see sometimes. I probably could have gone with 0.1 wire for this, but I wanted it to be noticeable what I'd done. It's always the same when you want it to do it, it just doesn't bloody do it. Just turn the iron up to 350, see if that helps. There we go, that seems to have done it. Right, and now the trick for this, I believe, to use a little extractor knife and just score it above. There we go. Just going to turn my iron down. Bit of IPA, let's clean up the area and have a look. Yep, that looks good. Right, I'm going to flip the board over and check the back, make sure there's nothing coming off the back that we need to look at. Yep, so if we look at the back of the board, there, well, I mean, even the pad's gone from there, but there's nothing connecting off the back of that, so we only have to worry about the other side of the board. Perfect. So let's put the scope away and let's have a little look. Right, I'm going to put the screen back on just so we can see it turning on, and then we'll go from there. Now, right then, as mentioned, bench power supply. So, providing 3 volts, 2 amps is what I checked. An AA battery, 2 AA batteries should be theoretically able to supply. So positive to positive, negative to negative, turn it over. And let's see if we get anything there. Ho ho! I'm not sure you can hear that. Obviously we can't see the screen, but I'll bring it closer to my mic just so you can hear the sound. Now, I hope you can I hope you heard that. Perfect. So we have sound now. So I'm going to get it off of the power supply, get it back together, and let's give it a proper test. But yeah, that's it. Simple as that. Just by bridging those 2 paths, we've done the job. So if I zoom in a little bit more for you, as zoomed in as I can, I'll bring it to the camera for you, just so you can see essentially what we're working with here. And that is it. Now normally I'd say solder mask this off, but because there's nothing sitting on top of there, I don't see the point in solder masking that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future, the supplier comes back and is able to give us, well, is able to sell the ports again, in which case I'll take that off, get a port on. I'll have to solder the port back on because of 0.5, but hopefully then we'll have a working GBC. Right then, let's get everything back on. I just want this screen working first though, because I don't think that was seated quite properly. Yeah, obviously you guys might have watched the video, you might not, but when it was being edited, my editor obviously did me a dirty on that, and also friends that I'd sent the video to did question why I kept doing that rather than getting bench power supply. So I've got one now, okay? Right then, let's see if this screen turns on this time. Ooh, no it doesn't. Now, I had some trouble with reseating this cable last time, so it's probably the cable. So let's just double check that. Right then, hopefully, 3rd time's the charm. Let's try that again. Yep, we have screen. Get a little bit of light. We're getting a few lines though, which I'm unhappy about. I don't know if that's just a little bit unseated. I hate these ribbon cables, I really do. Right, let me get this ribbon cable back in and then I'll get back to you shortly. Right then, got the screen working, let's get it back in the case. Right then, we're back with it completely together. I'm gonna have to lean in a little bit closer just so you can hear the sound. Ready? Are we ready? Let's go. There it is. Here it goes. I mean, other than Pokemon Yellow, what other game could I have played on it? Just to show you it working. Those noises are the noises of childhood. Pikachu! Let's just make sure all the buttons are working. Up, down, working. Go to continue. Start. I'm not sure select does anything yet. I don't know if you can see it. When I press select, it is making the trying to register an item. And there we go. I'm happy to report that is. I'm going to leave the little jingle going on as it goes, but that is the Game Boy Color fixed. So pleased that was the case. I'm really happy we managed to get it fixed. I'm a little sad though that I can't get a port for it because I'd like to have stuck a port on it and been able to sell it on. So I think, I can't remember exactly how much I paid, but I paid around 55 for this. If I was to sell this, I'd probably make a loss. Again, as I've always said, this channel for me at the moment is all about being able to learn to fix things and break even. So I could probably sell it for what I paid for it, which should be fine. What I am going to do though is I really like the shell, and even though it's a replica, which one of my friends told me to tell you, actually the Nintendo logo is wrong. So if I get a real one, you might be able to see. Yeah, the whole back looks weird, but the Nintendo logo on this one and then this one, I get them both in focus there for you. The Nintendo logos are wrong. But yeah, I'll probably take the shell off this one and I'll put it onto this one, as this shell has seen much better days. So yeah, once I've done that, I'll then try and sell it on. Hopefully break even. I think I should be able to break even with a working one and a nice new shell. Obviously, I'll tell whoever buys it that it's a replica shell. Hopefully, I'll be able to break even. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry this had to be a part 2, but I did need to go away and research how to get the speakers to work. Also, I had to buy a bloody bench power supply because people were getting fed up with me taking the case off, putting it back on. So yeah, going forward now, we have bench power supply, which will help us with our other repairs. Right then, guys, I'll catch you next time. If there's anything else you want to see me have a go at, let me know. If not, the next video will be here soon. See you later.